Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 10th through the 16th, 2021. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone, and especially anyone who's new to the channel for the very first time. And just to remind you, if you haven't already, and if you to go ahead and subscribe and to select the all notification bell so that whenever other content is uploaded, you will receive it. Also, if you have enjoyed the videos here at the Angel School community, don't forget to like them, as this apparently helps with the algorithms and helping to contribute to the video being shared more broadly with others. So if you've been watching for a long time, call to do that. That would really be of great support. Also, I've gone ahead and finally posted the monthly Angel Scope videos, which are videos for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, it was just posted yesterday. So that's on Friday, May 7th. So that will, if you haven't seen it in come up on your phone and your notifications, then go ahead and go to my channel and check for it. Also, I'm continuing this month my special offer for my half-hour reading of $77, which is been extended for 1 full hour, and this has been going on since the pandemic began it over a year ago. And you can go to my channel, theangelschool.com/services page. You can find that below this video in the description area, that link. And when you go to my page, there is no special button for it. You just select the half-hour reading as is, and within 24 hours on the first business day, I will send you a confirmation email noting the special offer and the extension of the full hour for that price. And within that email will be instructions for you to submit first your availability. So make sure you really read what my office hours are, which is from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now it's daylight savings time, so just be aware of that as well. And then within the email, I will ask for you to submit your availability. And please follow that. I usually give you a starting date when I start to have openings, and I ask for 3 weeks ahead. And if you have a limited amount each week, then give me more weeks ahead, so that I don't have to come back to you, because what I do is, and the reason for this process is, I always meditate with the angels, and they show me the date, the day, and the time based on the availability that you've given me and what's left. That would be the optimal time for our session together. And for me, this is a very sacred part of the process, and it just always seems as though the sessions are fulfilling in the ways that they need to be. So just be aware of that process, and also keep in mind that there are no limitations in terms of or restrictions around this special offer. And one final thing, because of just email issues I've been noticing, and I know we're going to be going into another retrograde soon, I think at the end of the month, so you may start to get some of that energy but make sure that you always just confirm that you receive the email within the first 24 hours so that I know that you got it, and you can take your time getting back to me with your availability. Okay? All right, so there's no rush there. Okay, so let's take a deep breath together. And just allow yourself to relax and be fully present with your I am presence. And to do this, to help you, just really set the intention of connecting in with your heart flame. So within your heart chakra, see a beautiful, brilliant flame that is always eternally lit, no matter, and is the same intensity of love and strength is always pouring out towards you. And it is always enveloping everything that you do and that you're passionate about. And it's so interesting because as I've been seeing, as I've been doing videos, lots of different animals coming through. And so these beautiful sentient beings, souls, are connecting with us for some reason and trying to help bring their spiritual medicine through. As they've come here to also assist us and to work on certain lessons or bring certain teachings to us, as well as their own lessons that they've come here to experience, and the enlightenment that they've come to gather as well. But they are primarily our teachers, and they help to show us the way. So really, there's a feeling of really connecting in with your soul, and to remember to connect in with these beings and the earth as well, the land they're writing. And to be aware, especially of the animals, birds, and other animals that are in your location or region, and the land, to really connect in with the sort of, I want to call it the news feed for your area. And so that you can keep in sort of that in sync with nature and the rhythms around you, the rhythms of nature that are around you. Because sometimes we as humans, we're just so out of sync, out of touch. We're focused on these illusions that our ego, the fears that our ego is constantly spinning, and we spin out with them, those fears, those concerns, those worries. You know, they seem like priorities, but they just seem to be running you ragged, is the expression that I'm hearing. And life, your dreams, your passions aren't supposed to run you ragged. And when it does, when you feel this way, you have to take a step back. You have to be aware how the ego is influencing and creating an interpretation that's making what you're doing harder than it needs to be. And I really want you to be aware of this, that sometimes you're working, then things, the way that you're approaching things, they're harder than they need to be. And when that happens, that means you need to really slow down. You need to breathe. You really need to connect in with nature and with your own nature. When you connect in with nature, you're connecting in with your physical body and Gaia. And that's so important, that you're listening to your body as it's the vehicle that's helping you to fulfill all of your goals, your spiritual goals. And you need to work with it in order to optimize your experience. Your physical body is giving you cues and helping you to understand where you need to give more care and attention. And also, like, because it's showing me a bra, it's like you need, which is my symbol for nurturing and care, but you also need, the bra represents that you need to protect your body. You need to be more protective of your own care by not allowing your life to run you ragged. To if you are working in this way, if your efforts are working you in this way, you're not listening to your body. You're not at peace in your physical body, your physical home. They're writing the word home. This is your home. This is actually your first home. And your house is an extension of your physical home. And what is in your house should all be to accommodate your physical home, your body, to nurture it. So think about the things that you bring across the threshold of your house and what you place in it, in the kitchen, in the refrigerator, in the cupboards, in your bedroom, in your living space, in your office. Think about making sure that everything is an attunement to love. Because, and they were showing me a mushroom, because this is true abundance. This is when you take care of your body, your home in this way, you start to activate the abundance of the earth. And make no mistake that your body is also earth. That's why your body is also Gaia. And within this physical home, and they're writing this, there is incredible power. Not only on the intellectual understanding of all that we know about the science of it, that's incredible power working within you. The frequencies, the neurological, all the wiring, the electric. I mean, this is an incredible power. Archangel Michael is coming through because he's reminding you that sometimes you need to make sure that you're plugging in to the right things, and that some things you need to unplug from. That means those unhealthy cords, because those cords either drain that power or empower, enhance, augment your physical power and all the functions and the realities that is involved in this physical home that always need our attention, our care, our protection. And it starts with what we bring into our house and how we nurture it. And we need to pay attention to the animals in nature that frequent around our house and that we encounter when we're in our home, wherever our physical home is traveling. Because they're bringing you messages. They're revealing to you aspects of yourself that you need to pay attention to or nurture. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the Archangel Oracle. And we have Archangel Metatron. And this is the chakra clearing card. So it says, call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. So there is definitely in this week a sense of really paying attention to your energy centers, paying attention to your frequency. And when we do this, this is an attunement of our physical home and our spiritual bodies, right? So we can really, when we pay attention to the frequency, we really understand what is coming into the physical home, what emotions we're holding on to, or that need expression, the ideas in our mental body that are, and their influence and how they are opening up for us other aspects of ourselves in terms of possibilities and opportunities, or is it going in another direction? You get this sense, through your physical body, you get a sense of your spiritual health as well. So you get a sense of your spiritual, Archangel Raphael is coming through, your spiritual, mental, and emotional health. All this depends on your physical home and how well it's functioning, how well it's being cared for. So really pay attention to energy in this week and how your energy is functioning. Is it draining, or is it expanding? Are you enhancing others in what you're doing, or are you bringing bringing things down? Okay? And instead of making it about all the external factors, focus on the internal. And that is to say, how are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for all the internal factors and levels of your being, of your essence? Are you taking enough time to breathe? Because they're writing the word oxygen in front of me. Are you really breathing? And think about the messages that are carried on that frequency of that element of oxygen. All the divine communications, everything from the universe. And when we take the time to breathe, we connect in with all of that. The experience of the earth, the air, the fresh air, right? The smell of the trees, the soil. We have to take time to breathe, because all of this is information. It's a matrix of information. And I'm hearing that it will enhance your cognitive abilities. And when you do this, the various matrices of nature, when you take time to breathe, it enhances your connection with your life purpose. The spiritual technology of your spiritual guidance is enhanced, and as it receives the messages encoded within those various matrices, or matrix, I think it's plural, sorry about that. But so that's what they really want you to connect in with and pay attention to in this week. Now let's take a look at the first card for the beginning of the week. and see where what energy is unfolding. Oh my. So we have, and I wonder, oh, I don't want to look at the cards, but I hope they're not. Okay, so this is a reversed magician. Okay, and I like to think that I picked up the deck right side up. But so this is the magician card. I'm just going to turn it around so we can see the energy. So what I'm getting, when the magician card comes up, it's about really, first of all, angel number one, or one meaning, or the angel number one is pay attention to your thoughts, right? Because they're manifesting. So you have this ability to manifest, but in reverse, are you focusing on the right things? Number one in numerology is about beginnings. So are you sort of, is there a part of the process that's holding you up? Is there something stopping you from really launching a new idea? Are you having doubts about things that you are really getting clear guidance to follow? So the idea is that here you're ready to you have all the tools at your disposal and you're ready to begin. You have everything you need. But for some reason, you're not taking that step. You're not believing, or you're not seeing yourself in a way. So they're writing the word comparative, like maybe you're making a lot of comparisons, and that's causing you to doubt what you have. Like the grass is greener on the kind of idea, and it's getting in your way and preventing you from putting yourself out there. And sometimes you really have to just go with it. Yesterday, the angels were talking to me about fear in a way that, the majority of our fears are not like life-threatening. So it's not like they're telling you to jump off a cliff, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. You shouldn't do that, right? But the kind of fear that the ego sort of puts out there all the time, or spins, is being afraid of expressing your voice, your desires, or to pursue a goal. And so they're encouraging you to sort of run in a way, to run towards that fear. Because on the other side of that illusion that your ego is casting in front of you is a door. It's an open door, a door of opportunity. And you'll never, ever figure that out unless you're willing to explore and confront your fears. And better yet, explore, experiment, discover. So don't be held back. If for any reason, if you're hesitating right now, go for it. Okay? This might also speak of that you might be manipulating, because when a magician has all this power, the idea is that you use it for the greater good. And I'm not saying that you're not doing that, but you might be forcing things in a way that you're manipulating instead of allowing. You are trying to get things to go a certain way, and that is causing sort of a misalignment. And so you might be experiencing delays because of that, delays in opportunities, delays in being able to get things off the ground, because you're not in sync, you're not in harmony with your own nature. Going back to that home idea, the physical home and the earth home, you're not in sync with it. You're not in sync with the algorithms of nature and the nature of what you're trying to accomplish. Because everything has sort of a matrix, a grid that it is flowing through, and that grid surrounds it, and it houses all of the information that you need, all the elements to draw upon, and the resources. And if you work in harmony with the grid, let's say, of a project, the grid of a relationship, then then you will have access to the information, the data, the knowing, the clarity, how it will translate into our sort of human psychology, and the instincts to know what to do. So be aware of this. And again, keeping your energy clear. Okay, so I didn't have the deck all upside down, so this is how it was meant to be, in reverse. All right, and working with Archangel Metatron, number one, he is the Archangel of Ascension, of our ascension process. And so you may need to really pay attention. This is why you need to pay attention to your energy this week and what's going on here. Now, the card in the middle, for the middle of the week, but I'm going to read this as a story right now, what may be holding you up. 5 is about lessons, conflicts, challenges, change, right? So the Hierophant is sort of that spiritual teacher, or the spiritual practitioner. Really the spiritual practitioner, right? Because when we think of like religions and traditions, we form these practices as a path of spiritual development. And so you may be struggling with an important spiritual lesson. Now, obviously, we just saw the word confusion. And I'm going to come back to that. But obviously, with 2 major arcana cards, this is a major theme right now, or a major lesson, or an influence of energy that's sort of setting the stage for all the day-to-day interactions that are unfolding, which would be reflected in the minor arcana. So maybe you're getting stuck because traditions, right? Maybe you're having trouble stepping outside of the box, and they're writing yes. And this is what's causing you some confusion. Okay, so unfortunately the video camera stopped, and I wasn't aware, and I kept going. I don't know for how long. So I just listened to what was said so I could try to reconnect to, and I'll just start from where it seems to have left off. And this is why you now suddenly see this card here, because I had already gone through some more with this card and moved into that one. But it's interesting that the card 7 of Cups appeared, because it represents that emotional confusion that we have or experience when we are struggling to step outside of our comfort zones, and we have this difficulty in being able to do that. It's like then choices that we want to make, they seem to all kind of just pile in, and it becomes very difficult to really focus on any one thing. And this is a form of that fear. And this is why it's so really important, as they've been saying, for us to really get in tune with our own nature as a spiritual practice. All right, so that we can really tap into the matrix of what's unfolding around us, as that information is that we need access to, that is the reservoir of understanding, of guidance and opportunities that are flowing within. And out, as soon as you ask for something, as soon as your heart has given itself to an idea. These matrix are formed. And this is sort of the magical, cosmic technology of the universe. Because within that matrix is encoded everything, the understanding, the path. This is what our intuition is sort of connecting into, is tuning into. And this is what you're following. So it's like the matrix is like a blueprint all around you when you step into a particular project or relationship. And it's, each situation matrix creates a bit of an adjustment within us, where they're showing me right now. It creates a bit of an adjustment because they're like a reality vibrating in its own frequency. And that's why certain experiences lift us up and others really can lower us, take us down. And it is so important that you pay attention to when confusion is surfacing. This is really a form of fear. And what you have to do is not start allowing yourself to just ramble, because what the ego does is what I call collaging, and it'll throw up everything that you could be doing or that might be potential something for you to do, and then you can't focus. So it all seems good, but then you can't focus. And many people don't actually focus. They keep doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and they never finish anything. And what ends up happening is, they're writing the word responsible. You don't feel like you are capable of being responsible for really taking care of anything. So you have to be aware of what happens when we step outside of the box, when we step outside of our normal scope of understanding, that comfort zone. We have to push against that, okay? And the only way you can do that is in a more natural way, is that you have to keep up with the updates that are, first of all, coming to you in the world, the realities, the various realities around you. Each one of them is a different matrix. The earth, your physical body, the animals, your neighbors, everything has a matrix. And we need to keep up with the changes, but the natural ones that are unfolding, the internal, and they speak to you on an internal level, bringing these inner messages to your consciousness. Okay? So, how do we work with this energy over here? I'm asking the angels, since they've I'm in this mode right now. You threw me off here, but I'm accepting that it happened for a reason. And they're writing the word energy. And this is all coming back to you paying attention to your energy in this week. Paying attention to what kind of matrix you're stepping into. And when you are manipulating, that is to say, if you're doubting yourself, because that's manipulating your energy. Doubt. If you're doubting yourself, okay, then you're going to draw upon a different kind of information within that matrix. And that's how that matrix can sort of be the low vibe of what your intention is. So be aware of how you're tapping into the low vibes rather than the high vibes of any matrix project We'll just call these projects, whether they're relationships or a job or a particular situation or event that's going to happen. I mean, they're matrices. There's a matrix for everything, okay? And right, this week they want you to be aware of your energy, to not tap in to the low vibe. That's to say, when you're doing that, and maybe the highlight here is confusion, it is because you're doubting, you're not trusting, you're not receptive, you're not opening up your heart, you're not, discovering, you're running away. You're allowing the fear that you conjured to cause you to run away rather than run towards. And why are we conjuring those fears? To block those doors of opportunity, because behind every fear is a door of opportunity. Because I don't remember if this was said already on the video, but this is not life-threatening, right? We're not talking about jumping off of a cliff. That is a no-brainer. That's something your ego would never present to you. Well, it's a long way to your ego getting to the point where you want to turn on yourself. And again, but we're just talking about the general fears of achievement, accomplishment, success. And then we conjure an illusion to keep us from discovering who we are and our potential outside of these structures. So be aware of procrastinating, coming up with excuses, blaming others. This is all manipulating, and the manipulation of your power, and you're going into that low vibe, and then you conjure these illusions, which then means that a lesson is created. And a lesson is created, and a lesson is created when we create these illusions because we're afraid. This is a manipulation of our power. Therefore, this creates karma, and then this means that we have to learn the lesson. The universe will then orchestrate a lesson, a test, a challenge to help you to work through that, give you that opportunity in your physical body to do that, so that you never want to repeat that, misuse your power again against yourself in that way. And so that's why we have to really embrace the lessons, the challenges that come up as a result, so that we will learn to own our power and use it for the highest good, and know that there's nothing for us to be afraid of, because that's what our intention is. That's the intention of our I am presence. Our soul is to use all of your spiritual gifts for the highest good. And sometimes when those opportunities are presented to us, we create illusions of fear, doubt, which is a manipulation of our power that causes us to then operate in a low vibe or low energy. And so this just might be the particular way that this unfolds right now, where a lot of confusion or fogginess, not feeling like you really know which direction to take. You just have to be compassionate. Because when I say and that you need to be compassionate, it's because what you're doing is that you're afraid that you're going to make the wrong choice. You're afraid that you're not responsible enough, that you're grown up enough or adult enough. That can still happen to adults, that we don't feel grown up enough. And that's why fear can really make us feel small, like a child. And then we feel all this confusion. So this is something that if you're going through this, don't run away from this lesson. Embrace it. And it's interesting that the Hierophant's here because, again, it represents that spiritual practice. And so what you may need to put into practice this week, and Archangel Michael is coming through to help to give you courage to stand in your power and to own your truth. And if you allow him, he will place in your heart his sword of truth, to activate your divine will and divine blueprint with more clarity and more confidence. And he'll place his cloak, his royal blue cloak, around you to help you to feel safe. And the practice for you would be in this week is that every time this wall of fear appears and these illusions about how horrible it's going to be unfolds, that you put on your helmet and walk towards that illusion and open the door behind it and discover the truth, the facts for yourself. Don't let the illusion intimidate you. This is you intimidating yourself because you are afraid that you won't be your best. And you're always your best when you're passionate, because that's love. That passion, within that passion, when it opens up, is a gift. The gift of love is inside of that. The gift of service. So there's nothing for you to be afraid of, except that you have to start being compassionate. That's the practice that you need to amplify. Even if you think you're good at this already, then go further. Because when confusion shows up, it's a sign that you've done something to manipulate your power, meaning that you don't know the true value and worth in that moment. You have doubts about it. And that is human. But it also offers us an opportunity to grow. All right, so let's take a look at the card that I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And it's the Three of Pentacles. So I'm just going to say this on an offset. Then this is just talking about support, right? Support, knowing that you're not doing this alone. I feel like this is a message that's come up before recently. Know that you're not doing anything alone. That there are other characters that come into the performance of our lives. And those people are placed there to help us to move along that process. So we don't do this alone. And what's interesting about this is because it looks like they're walking through a cave and there are these drawings, right? Like they found something ancient. They're discovering. And I feel like as you go through this path and as you open and invite and allow those who are in alignment, and so this is why it's so important for you to connect in and pay attention to your energy, to pay attention to your home as we understand it today, to connect in with nature and all the matrix that are around you, that are coming towards you. As you tune into this, you will, on this path, your ancient gifts and wisdom will come back to you, and the people that have walked those paths with you previously in other lifetimes. And you will pull your gifts together once more to actualize an important mission, important idea, dream that will help you to facilitate this achievement. So really trust. This is an important time. You're breaking barriers here. You are discovering And you're breaking in a huge barrier about what your ego does and how it operates, and what fear, what its purpose is, and how it's serving you, and how you just have to trust and go towards it. And the more practice that you do get with this, and they're promising you, this is what the word orgasmic, when you break through these walls of fear, it will be orgasmic for you, meaning rewarding. It will just be the highest frequency of elation that you could ever imagine, as conditions of oppression, they're writing this in front of me, will fall away from you. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and wish you a beautiful week. God bless you.